Phones off.
Dear Heavenly Father, you are holy, 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 Lord God Almighty. We trust you to lead in all things in this room, for our county, for our state, for our nation, and for the world, Lord. We thank you that we can rest, that you are in control of all things. Give us unity, give us wisdom, give us discernment as we serve the county today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, let's call this meeting to order. Brandon, you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, I do.
This weekend I was reading some stuff about some stuff that the governor has. She's got some stuff that she's giving grants away for some roads and stuff. And there's a lot of grant money right now that I think out there for roads and for infrastructure and stuff in counties that they're giving away. And I still thought that maybe the county should think about getting a grant writer, look into it. I know we use Katy down here, and I know we use the North Central planning, but I just feel like they do for everybody. And I feel like if we just had somebody just to focus just on us strictly, and stay on top of that stuff, I think that would help
So
the
you're
county.
talking about the 57 million
Yeah,
safer streets, roads, and
Yeah.
cameras?
that's what I was, she's just got stuff out there, and we just want to make sure that we're getting everything that we could get. And I know downtown does a good job for us. I mean, I know they do, but I'm just thinking if we had somebody just strictly for us, focusing just on us, that maybe, I don't know, maybe that's something they could look into or something.
Well, Chris has told me that he is working on a grant now. I don't think we're at liberty to talk about what's
Yeah.
going or what's happening though with it, but he's got a grant in the works.
He's got one.
Yeah, he's been doing well, I think, for roads.
And I think that and the sheriff said something about him, he's did a bunch of grants too this year. I just as long as, they're doing it and it's not just,
Right.
North Central or it's just Katy or,
Well, I think, the engineers help Chris with
With
that, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure there's anybody to help the sheriff,
yeah.
but would probably need some help.
you just, yeah, and I'm not saying that what we're getting is bad already. I'm just saying that, maybe if somebody, I don't know about the grant writers for the county. I don't think they can collect any money on top of grants. Sometimes if they write a
Really?
grant,
No, you can't.
which, that may help the grant, but I just don't know. It's just something I was reading and I thought maybe we could just take a look at that again or something.
Be nice.
Okay.
Good.
Done.
Thank you.
You guys gonna flip a coin, see who's in charge here, or what?
Well, no, this is mostly carnival. Yeah, this is carnival, not, I mean, it involves us, but.
Fairground meeting,
Yeah,
anybody,
I'm the only one from the carnival here, I guess, and I just sent out 3 applications for insurance over the weekend, and we'll hope and pray something surfaces, but I don't know any idea of what to expect. It's a long process, and we're just gonna keep plugging along.
well, Brandon, I think brought up a guy's name that I happen to know in Belleville. I'll give him a call too.
Okay.
I'm sure he does their fair.
I passed my info along to him, and I've got everything, all I've gotta do is copy and paste and hit submit.
Okay.
I guess you've already outreached to remember the lady that wanted to bid our liability insurance?
Yeah.
You've already reached out to her?
Yep.
Davidson.
And, yeah, Dave's Farm Bureau, we're coming up empty local.
Okay. I did read through this agreement one time, and the only thing that I thought we should probably change, do you guys have that agreement with us?
Mhm.
It's, on the first page, or I should say the second page references, it says Ottawa County will provide insurance for all buildings other than the exceptions listed on page 1. And we don't actually have the, Service Corporation as ownership of carnival rides on page 1.
There's no building, well, there are some buildings there, I guess, but I don't know. I suppose maybe they should be on it.
I just thought we might need to say, you know, the Ottawa County Service Corporation owns all the carnival rides and fencing around the rides.
And actually, the little, what do you call those things, carport thing that we got for
Fixtures.
Midway.
They're not taxable, or well, I mean.
Well, they're not, I don't know whether they're maybe considered permanent, I don't know if they can be insured.
They're not.
Those are movable
Yeah.
fixtures.
Yeah, so,
Well, I guess because it showed here, the real estate and building ownership, I didn't know if you wanted to include that or not, it's your assets.
I don't know if we could insure it. I mean, we can check into that with the carrier see if they'll cover it. Cause it's kind of like, Owen said, it's kind of a portable little thing, so we'll see. I'll check into it, but you think that's a holdup from, signing the agreement, or? I guess it's already signed, so.
Well, I don't, well, in the agreement, it said that we're supposed to review it every year and sign it. I'm not trying to be a stumbling block. It says this document will be reviewed, updated, and approved at least once a year at a meeting of the above entities on the second Monday of February each year. So it specifically states we're supposed to review it every year, so we probably should have a document signed again in 2026.
Yeah, we've got to sign it, but as far as the real estate building ownership, I think the way it reads.
You're okay with not having them listed
Because
there?
The rides aren't real estate or buildings.
Temporary.
Okay. Did you bring an empty one for us to sign for this year? Do we have an empty one?
I didn't have an empty one. I don't know who gave this one last year. If
I don't
not,
know.
I can just retype it.
I don't have an empty one. You should have one from last year.
I
The
didn't,
one I've
but I
got
can,
everybody's signature on it.
yeah, I have that one, but I can just retype it and get it to everybody if that's the agreement. I can take care of that.
Otherwise, I didn't have any problem with the agreement.
Question about K-Camp, you said they came in and did the buildings, did they have anything to say about carnival liability?
So the person who did the appraisal, we did ask, and they said that wasn't something that they could answer because they aren't the insurance company, they just do the appraisal. But if we don't own so I found out if we don't own the equipment, you know, you guys have decided, you could insure it if you wanted to through K-Camp, it would raise our insurance costs, but
Well, I guess we need to find out if we need to own it and how much it would cost
Now, you said,
to up it.
are you talking the carnival rides?
Yeah.
If
So-
the county owns them?
no, I'm not saying the county has to own it, I said, I don't know, the appraisal people themselves said they don't, they just do appraisals, they couldn't tell us about insurance.
Who do we talk to?
K-Camp.
Okay,
You wanna,
I'll follow up on
Since you're
that.
doing the other insurances, at least
Yeah.
you could compare them.
I hope we get two
you
to
get a number
compare.
from her?
They can get a
Yeah.
number from me, I can give you the phone
Okay.
number after.
So to clarify, you're gonna look at county owning the rides?
Well, I mean, if there's any way to,
But they said we don't
I
have
mean,
it.
I don't know if you want, I don't know if we want to or not, but I mean, we may have to.
Well, get quotes from K-Camp for both, if we own it and not own it, just to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Right.
Or how much it would raise our insurance.
Right.
you know. Now, did they say we don't have to own them, but we can insure those rides and we would have liability?
doesn't.
No, I didn't,
She doesn't know.
I don't know.
Okay,
That's what you're gonna ask.
yeah.
Did anyone ever reach out to the list of event insurances I gave to the service corps
I think that's
a
where I
couple
got,
months ago?
that's where I got mine, I'm sure. I'll
They
get
were all
with you.
national,
Okay, I'll get with you on that and be sure that I've covered all the bases.
because, K-Camp did provide you that list, and I provided it to the service corps.
Okay. Okay. got 3 in the works now, and this afternoon it'll be 4 with KCAM, so we'll see what they have to say.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you guys?
I've just got one fair board deal that I neglected to do last month. It's our fair board appointments for 26. List. Behind it is, 2 letters we sent out to 2 members that hadn't been attending. Therefore, they're off the board since they haven't been attending meetings. I think last year we had you guys approve the appointments.
So you've got 2 coming off and 1 coming on.
And then we've got one in waiting, you have to attend 3 meetings to be
Okay.
on.
Okay.
And we've got one that's committed to doing that.
I'll move to approve the Fair Board appointments as presented
I will second that.
by your Sheldon, by the president of the Fair Board.
Moved and seconded to approve the 10-member board. Glad fair. Okay, 11. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank the rec and the fair board. I'd like to also thank the county for the wonderful parking lot. Chris and his crew and Joe.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Good.
Wonderful.
Did they go down there and
Only
work
one
on,
person burned out in it so far.
is that the area by the river that you wanted them to put in? Oh, cool. I'll have to drive down there and see it.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
Do you guys wanna do a motion on the fair board agreement? We haven't really had a motion on that.
Well, since you want us to make it,
You
even
guys
though
can
we
do-
don't have it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can just retype that entire thing as is, or I can look to see.
I'll just move to approve the Fair Board's property and land use agreement as presented.
I will second.
Moved and seconded to approve the property agreement with the fair board. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we
And then
need
I
to
will
meet
get-
again once we figure out some insurance, or
Yeah.
how do we wanna do that?
I'm hoping within the next week or 2 at the most, we'll have something. We're getting close to deadline. So,
He's able to distribute that to you guys, he just can't distribute it to us ahead of time, so you
I'll
might
get
know
that.
before we do.
yeah. The minute I hear, I'll hang up and say yippee or
Skippy.
something.
So
Yeah.
you're going to talk to K-Camp, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Talk to K-Camp. I'll get,
I'll call
Tim.
the guy in Belleville
okay,
and see what his.
yeah.
And then I'll get the agreement to everybody to sign,
Okay.
and it.
Since
no
we
ch-
approved
no
it, we can go ahead
changes.
and sign it.
Right.
Yeah, the only thing
Yeah,
would
no
be, the
changes.
change would be the date.
Right,
Yeah.
and then the 2026.
I have a question about that.
Yes.
Insurance, are they gonna break it down per ride? Because I know the Ferris wheel's always been a big chunk of it.
It would be nice if they would, because we questioned that at one time. It was about an even up split way back when it was just 2,000 or 3,000 per ride, or for the total. They said it was 2,000 or 3,000 for the Ferris wheel, so it was about half of it back then, but I don't know what they've done now. I've not been real close in that loop in the last 5 or 6 years, but I'm finding myself getting more and more involved. But I thought about that, if we could just, I'd hate to, but we'd sell the Ferris wheel off if that would chop it off. And I can have that conversation with the carriers, if we got it, we got it.
That's one of the big draws.
That's a tough thing.
Yeah.
I have one more question. Tammy,
Yes.
they called about wanting a budget for, we get the amount of money you give us the fair board. What are you wanting from us? I mean,
That's a commission question, so that's for the appropriations part of the
Yeah.
budget. So, that would be something to ask the commission, whatever they want from you.
and they
Well,
may
the
not
la-
really know what we need to do till the carnival figures out what they're doing.
So you are, for all the appropriations, do they present a budget or they just present prior year's actuals? Cause the Fair Board gave us prior year's actuals in our agenda last month. Is that all they present for their appropriations? Is that what we request, just prior year's?
Whatever you guys want to make the decision on how much money you wanna give them.
Well, you gave us last year's financials, which
That's
were very
good
clear
enough.
cut, so I can't imagine.
That's good enough.
I just wanna make sure I was
I
on my
guess-
paperwork.
Yeah, the only thing is that if you, are requesting an increase, what that would be used for, that's what I would say.
How soon does that need to be back?
Well, we'll be working our first round of
I'm
budget.
scheduling all appropriations in May.
Okay, we'll have a meeting next month and
Yep, and then if you guys wanna get on the agenda for your ask, that's what, we just have all the appropriations coming in May and formally request for the commission how much they're requesting.
thank you.
Okay, well,
Holy smokes.
There's the man with counting the carnival answer.
we just got done.
Have you had any progress or reports on insurance, Doug?
No, sir.
I've got 3 apps out, and we're gonna submit to K-CAM.
I thought based upon what we had discussed last Thursday night, I would probably stop over there at some folks and say, okay, well, tell me more about surety bonds. What do we do on that? Zero.
Yeah,
Okay, so.
been there, done that. That was a great idea while it lasted. Wrong purpose, so we're into insurance again, so we'll just keep plugging away on that.
Okay,
Thank you for coming.
well, when you surely got something you want to say. Come on,
No, come on.
Monday morning, let's get to work.
go, go, go.
Yep, well, thank you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks.
I'll be in touch.
Sounds good.
Have a good week, you guys.
Yep, thank you.
I'll be in touch with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know how you got so tall and I got so short.
My dad threatened to put a brick on my head when I was asleep.
So, you got that envelope done, right? Let's see.
Yeah.
Sorry, Commissioner, I do wanna point out, the Flint Hills Area Agency on Aging did cancel and
What?
did say they'll come the 6th now. They changed from the 20, or they're supposed to be here last week and then they changed it to this week.
Well, it's not a very damn good deal because there's people coming here, I think, because of them.
Yeah, Doug might have been here for that. I just assumed he was here for the Ottawa County Service Corporation, and he might have been here for the Golden Wheel and that,
I hope you did not change your plans because they canceled.
okay. Okay. So they'll be here on
No,
April 6th.
As of right now. Excuse me, as of right now.
Okay.
She's getting on her last string with me. I don't know what else to do, but she's testing my patience.
Well, there's 2 people from the Golden Wheel down there preparing meals last week, I think, or the week before, on Thursday and Friday. The cook was sick. We don't have a backup cook. So, board members were down there cooking.
Yeah,
Volunteer.
I think that's why so Sheila has been vetted as a substitute cook. And
Okay.
I think Christy was helping her, and
Okay.
she's already been vetted. But that's why I made that comment last week, that if somebody's interested in being a substitute cook, to let them know, because it is a paid position.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, probably, I don't know if I should step out and call these people and make sure they don't. Text them, but,
People from the,
Delphus.
Oh, from
Yeah.
Delphus?
Yeah, they got 'em. We'll take it. Wait a minute. I think we're on their way. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. Guess we don't need a break.
unless you want them,
Catherine.
unless you want them to go ahead and come and share their
No.
frustration.
No, they're, so they turn around. So, I'm sorry about that. All right, well,
I would say based on here, the next thing we go to was the EMS discussion, if you'd like.
about the weed department.
But, Chris just isn't up here yet, so I didn't know if you wanted to skip and go to that, or if you wanna call Chris.
What are we gonna talk about EMS?
Well, why don't you call Chris, because I think some of the numbers are wrong on here, and in case he wants to revise it, he could bring them back up.
Okay.
Is that all right with you
Fine
guys?
with me, or I'll call him or whatever.
Are we ahead of schedule? A little
Yeah,
bit.
quite a bit. This goes in there.
Oh, okay.
There's the paper I just gave you,
Mm-hmm.
it's from the state, it's on feedlots.
Oh.
There's just a, permit for, it's already been established, we're just reissuing the permit again, like I think they do every so often, it's right on the front,
For the one on Mulberry
on the
Road,
bottom.
for that Lindsay Creek one, or for someone else?
No, for,
Tanner Litton,
yeah,
3B Cattle Company. His
Yeah.
address is Beloit, but
right, but it's.
legal is Mitchell. Would we have anything to do with that?
Is that something new in Ottawa County?
No, what those
Yes,
are
ma'am.
is, you guys will get those, I've given those to you before, those are just permits that were approved, and there's one in our county.
Yeah, it's,
Whenever they have I don't know how can they do it. if
yeah,
quarterly.
it's just to make you aware that they were
Yes.
approved again. They
Okay.
go through them every certain amount of time. Yeah. I guess his was in Mitchell, but he does own one in Ottawa County too. This one's. Crossings. Just put that in with
Okay.
that, and Carla can look at it when she gets there. So did you call Chris, or you want me to?
I texted him and let him know he's up.
I guess we can talk about the EMS while he's coming. What discussion do we have?
That is with Commissioner Grun.
None of those guys are here, are they?
No. Carl's out
Or
on
gonna be
vacation.
here?
Tony's working, couldn't be here.
Well, I was just gonna present the information I put
Okay.
together.
Go ahead.
I was gonna, ask Carl a couple of questions, so I'm kinda sad he's not here. So I did meet with, the EMS in Bennington, and, they were very helpful, and I did, send an email to Barry Hodges, I'll give this to you, Amy. And, he was also very helpful, so that I got this information, kinda just to look at Ottawa County. The first page is all about Ottawa County EMS, about what they're, ranking. Now, I pulled that first line from Minneapolis from their budget, their published budget for 2026. And then I pulled that information below there from Carl's schedule. And then I was told that overnight, that's the one thing I need to confirm. Do you guys happen to know? Do you know any? I was gonna ask Carl's, but he's not here. But I was told that their overnight shift, they just get paid a small stipend, and then if they make a call, they get, and that's why they can keep their salaries so low. But I need to confirm that with the city of Minneapolis.
Right. I can't confirm numbers, but I think that's the general idea, that they have a small overnight fee if they're on call. Maybe they can do it from home if they're so many miles or minutes from the station, then they can jump in their car, go to the
Yeah, I
station,
think
answer
their
the call.
actual hours are like 6 to 11, that they're paid the normal hours. I wanted to confirm that with Carl too, so I could have said he's not here. But, I'll get that, but just to give you an idea of what I found out, and it said, Barry did say that, when they have to buy something large, like a monitor or something like that, you know, they may use general fund monies, and the ambulance may reimburse it if the funding's not there. And he did point out that the city does all the administrative work on the ambulance, and he did point out that, in that salary number, the 461 is healthcare for their 4 full-time people. So the city provides healthcare for them.
Right. You said for Minneapolis
Yeah.
EMS.
Yeah, so, then with the Bennington side, I met with them, I don't have it, they had it in a Google spreadsheet, so I haven't had time to convert it to an Excel just to confirm all these numbers. But, it shows that the amount that the Bennington EMS gets and their medical billings, and see their salaries, I think they pay a normal salary through the overnight shift. But they do not have healthcare, and they have 2 full-time, because they kind of fall under the fire department there, whereas, the EMS in Minneapolis falls under the city. So there's no healthcare. Their cash balance, well, I should go to these notes down here. They said that, prior to 2018, it was all a volunteer service, which just blew my mind away. And, we can pick up, you guys tracking with me? Cause it's gonna be more than a 2-minute discussion.
Come on in.
Morning.
Chris, did you get my email?
Yeah, I did. I got it this morning.
Did you look at it?
I got to look at it a little bit this morning. That was about it. Because I got it about the same time I got it to her to forward to you guys.
Oh, the report?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cause I sent you that email on Saturday, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
But, so, and I had trouble trying to find out, I assume that the information here on page 1 of 4
Of
is.
which one? The financial one?
Yeah,
Okay.
this annual,
Yep.
okay, so I assume that is just the financial information for noxious weed.
Mhm.
Okay, so did you look at those numbers and see they were weird?
Yes.
Okay.
I was looking at him this morning. That's what I was telling him. I said, there's something not quite adding up there.
Yeah, so he put total revenue down there, 18 million, so.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and pulled the, general ledger, which I'm sure you already have this.
Mhm.
You get these reports.
Yep.
So, did you happen to draft a new one, or?
Not
did you-
yet. I haven't.
Okay. You want my scribbled numbers to see if you agree?
Yeah, if you want to.
I just scribbled them really bad, and, I didn't put cents in, I couldn't find instructions for this online
Right.
anywhere.
It's a pain. But yeah, no, we don't, the cents, we put them in, sometimes it'll kick them back out.
So you don't have to put cents in, so you can look at this, so did Brandon prepare all this?
Mhm.
Okay. I'll give you my scribbled numbers, and if you disagree, you can,
Alright.
and I put it on this page too, because, capital outlay one didn't tie either, did you see that?
Yes.
Okay. How did you find instructions for that?
I ended up having to email, I can't remember his name, to get the kind of breakdown of how it goes.
It says I'm out of yellow toner, do you think it'll still?
Sometimes. That's the
Some
same-
do, some don't.
Yeah, sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. That's the same printer I have.
I think I've got one at home that won't print black and white, it's out yellow or colored toner.
It's
Yeah.
weird, I don't,
Yeah. Kinda like the old Christmas lights that used to go out. One goes out, they all go out.
I'll tell you this,
Well,
for the record, Flint Hills better show up. Makes me
I can
mad.
catch up
do you
with
want,
you.
I can make a copy down
Yeah.
in another room,
Yeah.
and then I guess did you need us to sign this today?
Yeah, but we'll get it fixed back up to
Well, that's why I kinda said we should
Yeah.
meet with you, so if you have I don't know.
the
if you have
one you guys can sign if you want, the management plan, which is just identifying the noxious weeds that are in our county, which would be the other sheet.
So was this supposed to be completed? This was my only other question.
On the financial one,
On that just herbicide disbursement summary, was that supposed to be filled out?
no, not on this one.
Oh, okay.
Well,
So you want us to go ahead and sign it, and then will you just,
I would go ahead and sign the management plan, and then we'll look at the progress report one and get it fixed and get it brought back up.
okay. Well, you guys probably understand this management report more than me.
Here's the management plan. That one will have to, the financial one, we'll have to make some adjustments.
yeah, not 18 million.
Yeah,
I looked at the, did he already file this? I see his signature was on,
yeah, no, it's not filed, it hasn't been turned in, you guys have to sign it before it can be submitted.
I know, it said March 15th, I didn't know. You want me to tear this out and you'll bring it back to me?
It don't matter, we can do either way.
I didn't know if you were gonna work on it, so
I-
that it can get done today. or not.
Eventually today I will. So,
Yeah, you don't expect to bring it back up today?
I doubt I'll be able
Okay.
to.
Okay. I'll bring it back to you.
Okay.
And other than that, I didn't know if you guys had wanted a cost estimate of kind of what we had in the fairgrounds on that, or where you guys wanted to be on that.
Well, they were congratulating you on such a nice, nice parking lot today. You weren't here to get the kudos.
That is that man right there, him and the Blake guy, they put that together. And I didn't put all the rock in there on that because we changed it a little bit. to
Okay.
Add more to it to make the situation better. So that's just what we used for their share of it. And then I threw the labor and stuff in there. I didn't know how you guys wanted to look at that.
We're not
Usually we don't,
gonna- No.
but I put it in there just so you could see the numbers.
Should we have applied for a grant for that, do you think?
I,
Timing
We
probably.
might wait till
yeah, that
Three.
one, I don't know.
it's had to be done.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it looks really nice.
yeah, I'm gonna drive down there and see.
What fund can we pay this out of? We only need to pay the materials. Anything county? It's rock. It's our property.
I'm thinking.
So you put an equipment cost on there, what does that represent?
Nothing.
Just, it don't mean nothing, that's just what we had for time in it for the equipment and what it would've cost. But we don't usually ever, we always eat that.
Well, we do have, that special parks fund.
Right.
I was gonna look at that balance. Where that gets the other half of the,
But they should never have to worry about anything getting soft or squishy in there. It was rolled and laid and rolled and laid and rolled and laid.
Except somebody burn out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that Saturday.
Wish
Sunday.
they'd have went off on the dirt just a little way so I could see the track. They didn't.
Yeah.
What's the total cost that you guys have for that project?
440633 is what we need.
Okay, 4,000, right?
Yeah.
so we have a special parks and recreation fund that gets, half of the, liquor tax. You know, half of it goes to that drug and alcohol and half
Right.
goes to special parks and rec. And, at the end of the year, it had $12,000 in it,
Okay,
so I think we could probably use it for that.
right, okay. Let's take it out of that, then.
So do you need a motion for that?
It's completely up to what you guys wanna do.
So I'll
Do we
move,
need, go ahead.
I'll move for the cost for the fairgrounds parking lot of $4,406.33 to be taken out of the Special Parks and Recreation Fund.
I will second that.
Moved and seconded to take $4,406.33 out of the Special Parks and Rec Fund to pay for the parking lot. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And then, on that one you called me about, Dwayne, do you guys want that, or you want me to just give it to Sarah?
Refresh my memory, I've had.
For the Rock City deal?
Give it to Sarah, I
Okay.
think. Yeah, that was the grant,
Okay.
right? Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I've slept since then. Sorry.
Me too, the weekend happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Other than that, just on our update then, we're just going through our list that gave to you guys, some of them getting crossed off, some of them are currently still getting worked on. Moving forward, and we'll put another one together once that one gets finished up.
So did you do anything in District 1?
It's the only place we've been working, Carla.
That's the only place.
Really, where'd you
yeah.
been going?
That one, we were,
280th and Aspen,
yeah,
280th and between Youth Volunteer.
290th and
290th.
Homestead.
We're looking today at 280th.
Or
and-
yeah,
Are you,
280.
when you say this, are you doing ditches or what are you doing?
Culverts, ditches.
Okay,
So you said what, unmute and what, a volunteer, I'm sorry?
We spread a bunch of AB3, cause in that township meeting, that
Oh,
lady,
yeah,
that lady was not happy with that road and we went and fixed it.
yeah, the
Are you talking to
260th
Tammy?
one, yeah, I don't know the lady's name,
Yeah,
Yeah.
up in Chapman?
yeah.
Sure. Townships don't mean nothing to me.
I can't remember
Up
some.
here,
Yep,
okay, yeah.
Roads mean something to me. Townships don't mean nothing to me.
okay.
I had a question from the Rock City Board. On the south side of the road, as you go to Rock City, there's a bunch of dead limbs and that and stuff. And of course, they were thinking they would ought to have that cleaned out, so. they
we've
could
got
sit-
that one on our list of things to do at some
Yeah.
point.
I actually talked to, Ebo about that. We run an ad for free firewood, that people come in and chop it up. He didn't think. we-
Cottonwood?
Yeah, it's all cottonwood.
Maybe his head.
No.
The only problem with that, Dwayne, is that we've ran into, is we have logs in the ditch.
People say
And
they're gonna
there's a
come
list
get
of
them,
people
and
that
then
want that, and then.
they never show up.
They never come and get it, so.
So they say, yeah, I want it, but then they don't show up.
Right,
And then we go back and get it.
Then they
after.
say they want it, and then there's a mess.
Yeah,
Okay,
It's just an idea. I thought, hey, everybody wins. We don't have to mess with it. We
Right.
need firewood, but, yeah. It'd be easy pickings. I'd love to have seen firewood that close when I was cutting.
Cottonwood?
I've used cottonwood before.
It
My,
burns.
Yeah, it's hot. Don't
It
last long.
burns.
yeah,
I know.
that's all I got so far.
Thank you.
I was
Keep it
gonna
going.
ask you about one accounts payable real quick on the Foley one for the, it was $15,000 for the grader. Is that one that was out of warranty?
Yes,
Okay. We only currently have what, 4 of them on warranty?
yes, I think so. I'll have to
Cause we're still
double
making
check.
payments on those 4, so the rest we just have to incur the
Yep.
cost.
Yeah, and that one was I don't know really what that part's called, but it's where
There's a
the
seal.
tandems are in the back.
There's a
And
rear
you have to
seal, yeah.
pull it all apart to get to the seals and the clutch plates and all
And the
that
brakes
stuff.
and,
Yeah.
Are all, both tandems drivers on that? It's not just tag axle. They're all are drivers.
You believe so?
yeah, all 4 of them spin in the back, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, that's
Yep,
about,
thanks,
that's my only
guys.
question.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good day.
So we need Keith?
Yes.
You call him?
No, I thought you were.
I am.
You grab your phone out like you're trying to beat me.
Oh, here's
You beat me, you won.
Come on in.
Yeah, wow, that was a quick phone call.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm just here for this proclamation for our emergency operations plan. The plan was approved obviously back in January by KDM. And they're waiting on this proclamation to finalize it through KDM. So basically all I need is this signed so I can turn it back into the state.
So,
I'm supposed to be there this week, right?
Yeah.
so in January, we got an email, from Jason to say that, they had approved it. And, so I sent him an email back to say, hey, do we need to read through it? And
You sure can.
Well,
It's 291 pages.
I know.
I tried.
I printed it off.
Okay.
Because, well, just because,
You printed it off here?
yeah.
That cost us about
Half a
3
ream of
trees.
paper.
Anyway.
He's
go ahead.
kidding, I'm kidding.
Well,
Why would you
Well-
wanna
well,
read this? I mean, I don't mind you reading it, but why would you wanna check anything the state says? I mean, whatever they say goes.
well, no, mine was more, isn't this a collaboration of efforts by all these different organizations for Ottawa County that came together to prepare this? Dwayne, you're on the,
When I read through it, I saw some items that I didn't really agree with, like one of the emergency operation plans was to have a headquarters at the football field. Well, you can't do that, I mean, not football field, maybe it was football field up at the high school. What I read into it was down at the fairgrounds, and I thought, if we've got a flood, that's gonna be underwater, we can't. do
Football
that.
fields up here.
Yeah.
Well,
so I
the
don't
deal
remember
with
the name.
with the emergency operations plan, it is a living document.
Right.
It's, you can get on KS Planner and update it and change it as you want. In the short time that this got dumped on me, I didn't have enough time to go through this
Oh,
whole
no.
damn thing.
Right.
But to finish this step, we can always go in and modify it. It's our plan, not the state's.
Right.
It
right,
had to be approved by KDM to be accepted as a plan, but the plan belongs to Ottawa County. We can change it to whatever we want, whenever we want, by getting on the KS planner and just changing.
well, I just thought it was amazing, the collaboration of efforts when you read through this, what everybody had to do, so that was more than
The
anything. It's just-
ESFs, each emergency support function is done by, law enforcement has one, EMS has one. There's, what is there, 15?
Healthcare, yeah, there was a bunch of them,
I
yeah.
can't remember exactly, it's been so many years how many ESFs there is, but 15 I think or more.
I've
But
got confidence in the document, you know, it's been approved by the state, it's been gone over
Bring it here.
multiple times here.
Well, I don't question that, I was just gonna commend them for such a document, and it looked like that it's effective for 5 years, so you only have to do this once every or we, Ottawa County, only has to do
But
this every 5
KDM
years?
has to approve it. The document may never, we keep it up to, or we're supposed to keep it up to date when things change for us. Now, that doesn't mean we have to start all over in 5 years. We can have the same plan as long as it still meets the requirements from the state. Most of the time, it's just going in and adding a few,
Tweaking it?
tweaking it a little bit to come up to state requirements and
Yeah.
federal requirements.
Yeah, I just scanned it, I thought it was just amazing that, and it makes sense, Dwayne, isn't this the meeting that you attend when they all get together? Is that this?
No.
No.
I'm sure a company, I wasn't involved in it, but my guess is another company, we paid to have that done, like we'd have in the past. Back when I was there, it was done by a company, to meet state and federal requirements, and then you just go in, once they have it, and you modify it to fit your needs, but within the state deals. Because, if you read through it, we didn't write that.
It was pretty impressive, I was just like, wow.
So,
And
but we work with another, used to. I can't say what they did, because I was not involved in the making of this plan. But back when I was doing it, it was already done. We paid to have it done through grants, and then each ESF
support function people, we would get with them and they'd read through it and change what they needed to be changed.
So this was probably worked on through all of last year and
Correct.
submitted at the end of 25.
Correct.
And then they got back with us in January to
January.
say that they were okay with it?
That it was approved, yes.
Okay.
I was
That had
pretty
all the
impressed with it
requirements.
as far as every contingency, you know, there was a lot of several different scenarios painted in there, you know, where it was flexible. Like you said, it's a living
Yeah.
document, it could be changed, it's
Correct.
not carved in concrete.
So can I ask you a question? In this cabinet, we have some EOPs from years and years and years ago. Do we need to keep those or?
No. We're gonna function off of the new plan. We have so many plans.
I
We
assume
got
you guys
plans
have,
for plans.
you guys have the
So-
main copy. We would never have the main copy up here, would we?
The main copy is online. It's part of, I mean, we'll print one and put it in a book and keep it down there once
But it
it's
would be in
finalized.
the emergency management
But
rather than up
KS
here.
Planner, has it there.
So we could get rid of those that are in our,
Yes.
okay. Well, I'll move to approve the promulgation, is that the right word? It's a publication, promulgation for the emergency operation plan submitted to the, Kansas Department of Emergency Management.
I will second that motion.
So it's moved and seconded to approve the promulgation plan submitted to the Kansas Department of Emergency Management. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Do you want this copy I published, I printed? No, I'll probably get rid of the rest and put this in the cabinet, is that all right with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have one up here in case we ever want it.
Mm-hmm.
You're the contact for that, the risk management in regards to the
LAPC,
commission, right, Dwayne?
Yeah.
Okay,
Is there anything else you need?
No, not right now.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you for stepping up, Keith.
thank you.
Absolutely.
So did you used to be the emergency management director?
Yes.
So you went from sheriff to emergency
I
management?
went from a deputy or under sheriff to emergency management, then back to sheriff.
Okay. I was trying to figure out those dots. Thank you.
Absolutely.
What are you guys up to?
I forgot to grab these out of the printer.
Oh, here's the signed one. Did you want this or does it go to Tammy?
Both.
You'll give me a copy?
Yeah.
Thank you.
We got accepted for another grant that Joe and I applied for. It won't be till 28 project, but
What's this one for?
for Old Highway from 18 going north to Ivy. Yeah,
Is that widening it?
widening it and an overlay.
Overlay?
But we'll be responsible for the overlay part of it, but the grant itself will cover the widening.
So from 18 north on Old 81, is that what
Yes.
you're saying?
Yep.
How
'Cause the
far
other
is,
one-
where's Ivy?
Clyde Thrush.
It's about the halfway point
To
from there to
Liquor.
106.
3 miles.
Yeah.
So this summer, they're gonna do from Salina to 18.
County line
Are-
to 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the 18 in Bennington or 18 where all the flashing lights are?
It'd be 18, it'd be the south 18.
South 18?
The dead end, yeah,
Yeah.
mid-south.
Mhm.
Okay. And then, so this one's gonna start there and go up to Ivy?
It'll start there at Bennington and go to Ivy.
That's
Because
a
we
state
don't
highway
have
in
that
between.
mile in there,
Yeah.
that's
That's state highway.
states.
Oh, we don't have the mileage.
From 18 to 18 is KDOT's.
Okay. Hey, they were just mentioning about a road grant of 57 million.
It's the governor's.
Yeah.
Do you know
Brandon was
about that?
talking about it, and I figured part of that one that that we were talking
Oh,
about.
that
that
could be,
I wasn't gonna steal your thunder. I wanted you to,
no, I don't. I do know we have some stuff in for that one.
Is that a new thing?
It's been going
No,
on
it's
for
first of the year.
a few years,
Right,
for
but this
sure.
was, this was
What's
sent
it
out
called?
in January.
Safe Streets and Parks, I think.
Safe Streets.
Roads.
Yeah.
Parks.
Or yeah, safe streets and roads.
And so, so what kind of stuff would you apply? What,
That one covers a lot, but you gotta be picky on what falls within it. So it's like signage, markings, stuff like
not
that.
general road
You
maintenance?
can, but it's usually most maintenance items won't fall in those.
So it's more signage
Mhm.
and markings?
Yeah, safety stuff.
Safety stuff.
Chris,
Bummer.
you mentioned one time we were responsible for the overlay, is that right? Out of that, what, 1.2 million of the project on this paper, what will be the cost, would you guess, are out of pocket?
I just guessing probably 500,000 to 600,000. Just
14%.
guessing.
Will that be engineering plus a certain percentage, or?
So we'll pay engineering on that one, like always, but the overlay itself is considered a maintenance item, and we work it in, so then you actually save a little bit of money by letting whoever does the widening do it.
Like you're doing before,
So you
down
don't
there?
have the transportation, mobilization costs and all that.
So you're saying this will be, if you say 500,000, so it's from, it's a 2028 funding, so when will it be done? In 2028?
Yeah, that'll probably be when that one gets done.
Okay.
It could change, but that's what they projected.
So, you know, Scott brought up that Delphus Alive went and met with KDOT people about roads.
Well, we were lucky to. I mean, it was, when they accepted their grant,
Oh,
the grant deal. Elaine set up a meeting with the KDOT person about the streets,
yeah.
Delphus.
So there's no general money for general maintenance of county
Not
roads?
usually on that stuff. There's probably some stuff out there. I'm not real sure how you get a hold of it. Like I've worked with Scott on some other stuff in the past, you know,
Is that
trying to
in
help.
Delphus?
Yeah,
or-
inside Delphus.
But as far as like county roads, there's no grant monies there?
Not usually. Usually not for maintenance items.
This is pretty good, well, yeah, you said the overlay was considered maintenance, so you grabbed them for 1.2 million, so.
Right.
That's good, I appreciate it, that's my highway.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You don't think you couldn't just throw an extra mile in there and be done?
Yeah.
Almost, isn't it?
We thought, we tried, cause we wanted to put the whole thing in there, and they said, so, when me and Joe wanted to apply for it, we spoke with them, so to do that whole stretch, even if it was just the shouldering and everything, it would exceed what they try to issue out to each county individually.
Oh, so it might
Exceed
kick
the
us out?
maximums.
Well,
So,
Chris, please hope it goes beyond Homestead Road, because that's my corner and everybody's gonna say it just
No,
to the
it
commissioner.
goes up to Thrushes.
It says the
Goes what?
Ivy, yeah, I
North.
think you're safe.
North.
You got one
Goes-
more
you
mile.
You said Homestead or Ivy?
Ivy.
it's
Ivy.
Homestead.
It's Homestead or Ivy, you bet.
Oh, he doesn't know which one?
If it goes to Thrush, it's,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ivy.
he said either Homestead, which is my corner, and that's gonna look bad, or if it's Ivy, that's great.
It'd be fine.
I can take it,
I'll
yeah.
put a sign up there,
Thanks, guys.
Dwayne's Road.
Yeah. I already said it was my highway, so. Yeah, it is
All right.
great.
Curly, you wanna go back to the EMS?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry, I was reading that. Okay, so one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting is that it was volunteer between 2018. I did not have a chance to look up when did you take office, Scott? Do you know what year?
100 years ago.
So 21. I was, back, you have always seen an appropriation to EMS, right? Well, that's just 2021. It wasn't volunteer. I was just curious. So anyway.
We never seen anything from Bennington back then. They never gave us anything, cause they were not ready to hand out any information about
Okay.
anything. But now they have.
Yeah, so anyway, and as I understand it, you know, when I look at the wages and I asked the question, the wages seem so low, why were they low? And they said they used to be under the Kansas Department of Transportation and considered drivers rather than providers.
Right.
And that's why the salary seems so low compared to other medical people. So anyway, going back to EMS, what Bennington had readily available showed me that they had a loss in 2023 and a loss in 2024, based on their cash flow, I should say. It went down like over 100,000 and over 100,000, and then last year it went down 53,000. They're not wasting any money; they are scraping by.
I know they are, but-
And the Kansas, fire department approves all their payments. So the trying to figure out these interrelated parties, because obviously the city of Minneapolis helps, Minneapolis EMS, and the fire department helps Bennington EMS. But it says that they provide the building, the utilities, and all property insurance for the ambulances. And he showed me the budget that they presented in 2026, which is probably too low based on what their actuals were in 2025. The ambulance are actually owned by the fire department, and I should say 2 of the 3 are owned by the fire department, and 1 is owned by EMS.
2 of the ambulances are owned by the fire department, did you say?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of, like I said, trying to understand these interrelated parties.
Yeah.
And to see what contributions are being made by each one. So anyway, that whole front page is just Ottawa County for just to kind of look at and see. I pulled that number, that direct at the very top there from Minneapolis. That was off the page Carl gave me. And there's a huge disparity between the Minneapolis director and the Bennington, because the Bennington director only makes $16 an hour. So, as well as the assistant director. But again, I guess what really concerns me is that the full-time people don't have any health care and their salaries are so low. So then on the back page is from all the other counties. And those are the people that I contacted. And I pulled all their budgets from the Kansas Department of Administration to kind of see what other counties are doing. You can see that they're all kind of different. Some, are scraping by. I'm not quite sure how they fund. There's a couple that, like Marshall County, they contract out with a private entity, so theirs ends up being cheaper. Washington still has a volunteer service, but that county clerk said they're switching to a countywide function. And then I put those other counties that are nearby.
Now Clay County is 1367. I'm assuming that is in thousands. That'd be 1.367 million.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Everything is in thousands. I'm sorry. Yeah. Obviously, this is a bigger discussion than
Dickinson
today.
County, 2.75 million.
Yeah. Now, Concordia, they are, Cloud is covered by Concordia and has interlocal agreements. I thought that was kind of interesting. But all of theirs are firefighters. So they have a paid firefighter department with EMTs. All of their firefighters have EMT training.
Is that countywide in Cloud?
No, it's citywide, but they contract out with all the areas. See where it says that interlocal agreements? So that's kind of a unique thing.
Yeah.
So
That doesn't really reveal the inner workings of how they do it. I mean, it's a good agreement that worked for them, but we don't know how it
So
works.
they have a paid fire department.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So where ours is all volunteer.
Yeah.
And then there was an ad for Dickinson, so I put that in. For actually, Mary Svetson gave that to me, an ad. She gave me an ad for Ellsworth County, and I didn't pull up Ellsworth County, so. But even, some of these EMTs, the basics, like Lincoln County, they're making 15 and advanced EMT is only making 16, however, their director makes substantially more so. Oh, the main thing from when we look at this and try to figure out how to fund any kind of shortfall or whatever you're looking at is, they said that that 4896 guarantees 24 hours of overtime for a bi-weekly pay period. And I thought that was important to build in if we ever look at, I mean, I don't know if your goal is to combine this service, make it a countywide service, to keep it independent and just fund it.
I don't know how we can keep it independent.
Yeah, I don't know where to
You
go.
mean taking it, you're saying you wanna bring it in all countywide?
Well, that's
And
just
how
like
it
putting
come-
two schools together.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be almost,
It's gonna be a project, yeah.
yeah, I mean, but it's gonna be
Carla,
hurt
how much-
feelings and mad and pissed everybody mad, but I don't know what to do because Minneapolis can't be, just say it was county, one deal. They'd still have to have something in Bennington because there's no way Minneapolis could get to Niles.
And
Quick
and
enough.
some of them have a county, on these have a county, service with 2 locations. I guess Dickinson did, and then another one just had a ambulance at another location that,
I don't know what to do. It's
Well, for fire protection, the Bennington Fire Department has a location at Wells. There's a truck up there.
we're talking about EMS.
Yeah, and I don't know whether, I'm wondering if the same thing would work for EMS, to have a remote location, for
yeah.
somebody. if they-
I think I
The
can't remember.
only place it could be is there, Bennington.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, yeah, and Mitchell County had 2 locations as well, Beloit and
Mhm.
Cocker City.
Yeah. What kind of a deficit did you say they were operating under, that Bennington was operating on, like 23, 24? I see you've got 25,
I have 25, it was,
I don't,
53.
yeah, and,
I don't know if the city of Bennington would wanna step up in any form or anything, I don't know. I mean, there's just a lot of
Well,
things.
so here, the way I look at it is you have the Bennington Fire Department is stepping up, which is, obviously they're funded by their district. So they're using some of their ad valorem
Right.
dollars to help with the ambulance. And then you have the Minneapolis one where the city is providing services, some
Right.
services.
Right.
But their benefits, the good thing that I did learn is that that benefits number, their benefits are included in their salary number. I thought initially that they were providing benefits separately, but it doesn't. That 461 for Minneapolis includes healthcare for their 4 full-time people. But he did say in his email that, their health insurance rates went up 40% for the city. So I need to find out who I haven't responded to his email yet to say who he has health insurance with. But, and I don't know how you can find, I guess you just have people that are on call and have a minimal. I need to get with Carl. I was just trying to get this preliminary information to you, just so you could digest it. And if you have any questions, Barry said he would update this he said this was not a current salary that Carl gave us, and he would give me an updated one. Did you guys have any other questions you want me to ask these or other groups?
No. Can
Not
we
at this
assume-
time.
Yeah, can we
What?
assume like 53?
Not at this time, I know. I mean,
53,000 per year, is a deficit, that's how much you're going in the hole. But we don't know how much Minneapolis is in a deficit, if they're,
Well,
or they're probably not.
I just felt like, I didn't see, well, I was gonna say, I don't see a receivable or a liability, but that would be inner
Yeah.
city.
mhm.
But, he did make here, let me, I think there was one other comment that he made pertaining, I think the ambulances are paid off. And I think he would have noted if there was an outstanding payable right now.
My
You're talking
question,
about Bennington?
I was trying to figure,
Minneapolis.
Well,
The email from Barry.
we're tying this all to sales tax, you know, and we don't know how much we really need to keep the EMS in Ottawa County solid.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah,
Like, so what is a reasonable cost for Ottawa County if we made it a countywide one, provided, I'm just pie in the sky here, provided benefits for, the two full-time in Bennington that are not receiving it, and,
yeah, we can.
yeah, so, they are paying off an ambulance, I should say. So there's an ambulance but they have it included in capital outlay on that schedule. In here where it says capital outlay
Okay.
44,000,
Yeah.
that includes a payment for an ambulance they bought, that they're paying off. It's in their financial records.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably take this back up when we got a couple of those guys here.
Yeah.
And-
Well, I
and-
think, I will, I'm gonna call and confirm that overnight rate, and so I'll do that. And is there any other question you have for the city? You know, somebody said too, one of the people I talked to, one of the county clerks, said that they were bringing the billing in-house. They had previously used that Delisa too. You know Delisa's out of
Yeah,
Yep.
Elvis,
Delphus?
yeah.
And anyway, they were saying they were hoping to bring it in and hopefully increase their billings. But I have no idea. I think Delisa's charges a cost, like so much percent of the billings they receive as their cost.
I'd question with her expertise and experience, you know, that we can find somebody that would be more efficient, if you will, at a lower cost to do that. But hey,
Yeah,
we gotta leave no stone unturned.
Yeah, just because one of the counties said that they were opting to do that. Oh, and I did find out that, you know, remember, I think it was Carl was saying about the software that the state provides, and I was thinking that was something helpful. And I found out that what it is that it's kind of like the state's oversight for them, so they have to put all the call information in, and it's just making sure that they are doing what they're supposed to do
Right.
as EMS. It's not really a
Kind
benefit,
of
it's
a
more.
watchdog type situation.
Yeah, it's more like statistics and
Yeah.
oversight rather
Right.
than a true benefit. Although it's good to have all the information, I'm sure,
Right.
in one place. But I was thinking it provided some type of financial information, and it doesn't.
Does us no good,
Yeah.
really.
Although that information, I think, is what is sent to Delisa's to do the billing.
Right.
That could be.
Yeah, I think there's a direct connection with that, so.
Good.
Okay.
Well,
So if there's something else, just off the top of your head, that you want me to talk to the city of Minneapolis about, based on what I shared?
no,
I don't really know.
I have an opinion about how this is all gonna come out, but I don't know how everybody's gonna accept it, but,
Yeah.
I mean, if they're gonna have to merge, I think, but,
Yeah, well, I guess if you're gonna sit there and think about merging, you're gonna figure out what are the economies of scale, like what can you do?
Yeah.
right.
And I think that they do back each other up right now, you know? I don't know if you need 4 people on call, on service the whole time.
That would be the savings. We'd have 2 people on duty at the station instead of 4 now.
You think you'd only have 2?
Well,
No,
there's 2,
that's not right.
I think
2
you're
at
gonna,
Minneapolis, 2 at Minneapolis and 2 at Bennington
so
right
you'd
now.
have 4.
Right, so I think if we had it in one county, you'd have 2 on duty and 2 on call, maybe, in case
I
they
don't
get
think-
out on call.
Well,
I don't know, you know, they, so they're.
what do you got to say, Tammy?
I'm saying, currently this isn't our decisions.
Right.
We are not, it's not up to us to merge, it's up to you guys to fund. So we're talking about full-time and all of these things. This isn't our discussions. We don't run the EMS, we only fund them. So I think we're about 30 steps ahead of ourselves here. We need to kind of probably bring it back.
So if it
All
is,
we do right now is fund EMS.
if it is merged, I mean, if we do see that on the horizon, how do we go about that? Do the EMS entities have to decide, yes, it's economically best or whatever for us to merge, and it's initiated on their behalf, on their side?
Well, we being
That's
the
something we have to
driver-
talk to
so-
everybody about.
So we're the major contributor to their operations. The only other major thing they have is their medical billings.
Right.
And that barely covers their out-of-pocket stuff. So we're basically funding all the salaries. So,
I think we probably ought to just probably table this and not talk about it anymore until we got
Yeah, I
a
agree.
bunch of people in the room and, but you go ahead and
Yeah.
check out everything. you
just,
need.
well, I was just gonna make sure that I understood that amount. And I was gonna ask who their insurance was with to know, since it got a 40% increase, how do you already know that?
Right.
And, but I guess, do you want me to try to estimate what a countywide service would cost, just so we have a ballpark number?
Well, I think this is what I think you should do, is talk to Barry, because
Yeah,
I'm not too
not
sure.
that I'm proposing, I'm
No,
just
but
like,
no, I understand that, but I'm not too sure he hasn't maybe worked on that.
you think?
I think so, but
Okay.
maybe talk to him.
Yeah, he said, well, I was very excited that he got an email back to me and answered all my questions and,
Well, him
he
and I
said, good
talked
luck,
about it.
he said, good luck finding funding.
Well, I think.
Him and I talked about it a year ago, so I think,
Oh, you did? Well,
Yeah.
maybe you should be,
no, you keep doing it.
This is in the back of everybody's
I'm not
mind, I think.
a numbers
is to-
person like that, so I
See.
think you should keep talking to him.
I think we need, in the back of everybody's mind is what EMS is gonna look like. in the
how we're
future.
gonna sustain EMS, that's the
Right.
big question. How is it gonna be sustained? If we have to keep increasing EMS funding, then we
Right.
should, since we're the main contributor to EMS, we need to try to figure out if it makes sense what we're funding. Does
Right.
that make sense?
Yep, it does. So I think if I were you, I'd get ahold of him again about
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
so.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna answer some questions, and then I guess the whole, the next thing, of course, is our budget discussions about it, and,
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
so let me see your vision on this real quick. So what do you foresee? Like, we're gonna have budget discussions in May, what do you foresee happening in May on EMS?
we're probably just gonna have to go with it one more year, cause I think it'd be too soon to do anything.
Yeah.
So you're thinking
Yeah.
just to think about, and this would be something, so as I presented, Bennington is reducing their cash balance that they began with.
Right.
I think they had a huge cash balance built up from the volunteer service
Mm-hmm.
because they weren't funding any,
Mhm.
salaries. And then they've kind of been utilizing that, but at some point,
It's gonna run
that
out.
cash is gonna run out, and then you don't wanna get all the way to that point without having a plan.
Right, okay, well,
Okay.
let's move on to budget.
Okay, so, I wanted to go over a few things we discussed last week. The first thing I'll kind of talk about is the COLA. Commissioner Grun, you had asked about the steps and what percentage between. So I included our policy 30.03, and on, it reviews the grades and steps and the increases between steps. It's a sliding scale. So I wanna make sure you are aware of that. So in order for the department heads to be able to do a full budget, kind of have an idea of what you would like to build into the budget for COLA, not necessarily making the decision, but what you would like to see them built into COLA, would be helpful. We do have a department meeting April 6th. You guys asked to provide, direction. They meet with Scott Lloyd at the Lloyd Group on April 3rd, and then you can give directions to them on April 6th. But I wanted to start that COLA discussion and see where we're at, if you guys wanna make a decision on that for how they build their budgets.
What's the CPI doing?
2.7, I think.
2.7?
So I did do a spreadsheet. Do you guys wanna see my spreadsheet? I did this over the weekend. Do you wanna see it? I made one for you, Tammy. I think. I did. Good thing, because my printer's out.
How could that be?
How could that be? After printing out that EOP, is that what you're saying?
Like 3 trees.
My bill.
Oh, you found one?
Maybe.
Okay, so I just put this together over the weekend and just to kind of get an idea, because Tammy sent this out. So I started with the salaries of 2025, and I have that increase that was approved for the wage study. And it that amount included both the COLA and the step. And then, so that would be what our salaries are at the end of 2026. And then I added the benefit cost, using CAPERS, FICA, KPNF, workman's comp, and unemployment. It comes to about 22% based on last year's budget. And then, so our total salaries at year-end 2026, including those costs, are that 4 million. Do you track that?
Mhm.
And so, then I went ahead and said, okay, so 1% COLA, 2%, 3%, and then the step, I said 1%, 2%, 3%. Obviously, we can't control the step because it's already built into the wage packet, wage study, but the COLA part is really what we're approving. So, you know, based on what the year-end salaries are gonna be, and I just did this over the weekend, Tammy, or I would have gone over this with you, but, I guess I was trying to show that if we do a 2% COLA with the step increases, and assuming the average step increase is 2%, that's estimate again, is the 152,000. And, of course, the 2026 numbers are without any overtime. I kind of proofed my number there. I see at the very bottom, I said ballpark estimate. I took the February payroll times 12, and it was pretty close to the year-end salaries, and that would have included overtime, so I felt like that's probably a good starting point. And then I have that overall statement in there. Overall, I would love not to increase taxes. Could be a tough year with no rain, the war going on, prices. So let's say we approved a 2% COLA, we would have to fine $150,000 not to raise taxes. I mean, that's just the brute, because we've already got the step increases built in. Again, that's an estimate. I'm not feeding everybody's salaries in, and if you want, Phil could probably do that for us. Drop in everything, look what it's gonna look like with a 2%. Do you give him new salaries throughout the year on our new employees and everything? Is he updating that wage study all the time?
No, that's what we do.
You do that? So you've put in all that information. Did your year end tie to that 3?
That's not
You
the way
probably
that's-
don't know.
Well, that's not what the spreadsheet does. That's completely different. It's not used for budgeting in that way.
Well, the spreadsheet had though, like, beginning 2025 salaries and ending 2026 salaries.
Right, but so the problem with spreadsheets like this for payroll is it doesn't account for when people leave.
Right.
So you have a long-term person that leaves and a new person starts at a much lower grade step. You know, things like that. There's just so many
I know,
instances.
this was an estimate, yeah.
They're best estimates, so it's never going to tie. So that's what I'm saying, it's not the same because.
Could I take his spreadsheet though and put in our new people through the, I could take their.
The
No?
spreadsheet's way too large, I have no way of transferring it. We have no way of transferring it like that. It is humongous.
So we don't pay Phil to do that for us? To
No.
project what the salary is gonna be at the end of 2027?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think you understand that what the spreadsheet's for. It's different than what you're thinking. It's used for us to do wages and put people in the correct steps and grades. And it can average out what we're looking at for like the total, but not,
Yeah.
it's not tied to a budget spreadsheet.
So the wage study that had the projected 1/1/25 salaries tied to our, this is 26. Our 1/1/26 numbers. So when we had him do that spreadsheet, Phil do that spreadsheet, so the 1/1/26 numbers agree with what this, so Doty did give me salary information, so I could see that everything made sense. As far as the wage study numbers were pulled in, she just gave me that report last week. Did she send it to everybody?
Mhm.
So that report that she gave ties to the wage study, okay? So going forward, I'm happy with the information we received to approve payroll, that's one thing. But the other thing is that it tied to the numbers in her payroll report tied to the wage study, the proposed wage study as we approved,
Right.
okay? So Tammy is correct that I'm using the $3 million number and then adding to get to the 226 number. The 226 number is in the wage study, because it did project out what the final salary is gonna be.
What is the 226 number? I got lost there. I followed you up to the $3 million wages for 2025, but then
I
You
just
said-
have, so the 348 is the total increase
2026
throughout 2026.
Okay.
So at the end of the year, that's what our salaries are gonna be. And then I just added the benefit cost so that we know what total salary, and that's without healthcare, I should say. Healthcare is a whole nother component of that. I just pulled out salary-related benefits.
And the reason I said one tie is, for example, the 348, if people have left or if we have open positions, that money is not being spent currently.
Yeah, but I guess when I look at the ones that, I guess the few people that we have hired, like, they haven't been significantly lower than, their starting pay has not been significantly lower than the person leaving.
Could be, or.
Because of their experience, I understand
Right.
it's because of wage scale, we're not making that determination, which is, praise the Lord.
Right, but if we have any open positions, like, for example, we have a road and bridge position that's been open for quite a while. That number is actually included in that 348, but we're not paying it out currently. That's why I was saying there's no real tie, because,
Well,
like you said, it's an estimate, it's an estimate.
yeah, and I guess, that's why I did that ballpark number at the bottom, just to say, hey, is this reasonable? And, so I just took, February payroll to show that, you know, the 348 is not a crazy number for 2026.
Right.
So anyway, I guess I was just trying to say, these are, I don't know how you guys overall feel about the budget and, what your goal is. But overall, I would love to see a flat budget.
Well, that would be a good thing, but we'll just have to see what, I would hope that everybody realize, employees, that we have done an awful lot for them in raises and getting this straightened out. And with their budgets, I hope they're fairly tight with them.
Yeah, I thought if we gave them direction, like let's just say that we're gonna say approve a 2% COLA for, and assuming that what their wages are, that whatever that is in their department, to build them in and see what they would recommend to keep it flat, just to get their opinion.
Right.
I think, what I hate is for them to prepare their budgets and come in and then we have to say, oh, we need to cut 20,000 from your budget.
Right.
I would rather have them say, if I'm gonna keep my budget flat, this is where it could be done.
Right.
Now, I can understand that they would also have some type of footnote or something saying, I really feel strongly that we need to fund this, and but if we give them that directive, it's a challenge, really.
Right.
But if we give them that challenge, at least that's a starting point, as difficult
Right.
as it's gonna be.
It is
I mean,
gonna
it's
be-
difficult for us.
Right.
And I'd rather have it on the front end than at the back
back in, right? Okay. Well,
I agree, keeping the budget flat is a super idea if it can be accomplished. What I see with the numbers, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I see a 2% COLA and a 2% step increase, is that right?
Well, that's what I
So-
highlighted, if we chose that. I mean,
Okay.
the step is built in and it, to the system, so
Mhm.
it might be, you know, as it shows on here, it ranges already all the way from 2.5 to 1.2, so I just took an average of 2%
Okay.
right.
as realistic.
What I was seeing was a 2% COLA and a 2% average, step increase. There's 4% that 2.7% of that is gonna be ate up by the CPI going up, the price is going up, consumer price index. So they are gaining ground, you know, but not like the 4% that we would give them.
I do wanna point out, the way the wage study is built is, does, the step increases are there to, so you just are to consider COLA, because the step increases are there to
Right.
keep us where we need, so you're not really giving a 4%,
Right.
you're just, oops, sorry. It's built with those steps in mind for the merit-based, so it keeps us
And the
on track.
longevity.
Yep, so in 5 years, when we go and make sure this is still updated, the goal is that we don't have to change our wage study, that we have kept with whatever, but that's just you guys doing COLA and the steps are already built in
Right.
there.
So in that line of thought, then,
Yeah.
we would have a 2% merit raise for the people, but we give them a 2% COLA, they're losing ground by 0.7%.
Gotcha.
According to the CPI,
I see what you're saying.
yeah.
If that's right. I mean, that's.
Yeah, it's a guess there too.
Sorry,
but-
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but that's tough.
Well,
Something to think about.
Well, I thought we should, since we don't have a meeting next week, we should really give them direction, because they're gonna talk to Scott Lloyd before our next meeting.
well, I don't think there's anything wrong with this right here. See where they come out.
You
Yeah.
wanna challenge them to keep it flat,
Well,
basically.
as best they can, I mean.
With a 4% increase in
and I-
salaries,
honestly, I
and say
think-
what they, if they were to make it the same, what would they do, and if it's realistic?
Yeah, honestly, I think that they should know that, but,
Yeah,
I honestly, you know,
I agree. I encourage the flat budgets, you know, but then we've also got to work in the 2% COLA, and they know they're gonna have a step increase, whatever percentage it is, might be less, but you just consider the 2% average, and that's a ballpark, that's a starting place.
Your goal is not to give them salaries by department for their 2027 budget, is it?
Yes.
You are. You're gonna give them that number?
Well, so, I don't know if you guys remember, I'm putting together budget sheets for each fund line item, and that includes a salary fund line item.
And you're gonna feed that in,
Yes.
based on the wage study?
No, I'm sorry. I will show it for 2022 to 2026, what was budgeted. They will feed in all of the 27 requests.
So they, again, so I'm trying to figure out if we should put that salary number in. Are you, so to me, that, to say, keeping it flat with the salary number we know we're gonna give you is the challenge.
I do wanna point out, they each know the department better. If they have someone who's retiring and we're gonna take out vacation and sick time,
right.
or if they have a feeling someone's
Sure,
no
we'll
longer gonna
understand,
be
I
working
understand
here.
all that.
Yeah, so I would encourage to let the department heads do what they think is best for their department.
We understand that if
Yeah.
somebody's retiring, that it's gonna be
Right,
different than
right.
flat. Okay, we know that,
Yeah,
at least I do, I mean, I understand, I mean, I don't know if that's the case or not, but,
But that's something, maybe let them try at least to put in the salary number they think is appropriate with whatever COLA you guys decide to have them put in or build into their salary line item.
So, I'm just saying, so we have kind of taken the salaries away from them in some respect by this wage study, right? We, the county, do you agree? We've kind of taken control of it, other than the COLA side, haven't we kind of created that being,
Yeah, it's kind of out of our control, you know, it's the wage study.
yeah,
that
so
takes
it
into
seems like the wage study could generate, do you want me to work on that?
No.
Okay, so it seems like the wage study could generate the 2027 numbers for them, using the personnel they have now. You know, we understand there's gonna be.
Is that right or wrong?
As far as what?
That it could generate the numbers?
I think the department heads can generate their numbers.
Okay.
The wage, through the wage study?
They can look, yeah, they were given how much each employee is going to be making and all of that, so I think they can generate. I would never, and I will never in my budget, put in an exact number. That is, I have overtime that gets built in.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, things like that, so again, that's why I said, our department heads can look at their salary and decide if that's where they wanna cut. You guys talked about keeping it flat. Maybe I look back and I see we're not taking as much overtime for things and I wanna cut it back. That's just my thought.
So one other thing, as long as we're talking about overtime, so the new state law, or no, the federal law is no tax on overtime? Is that correct?
It's a rebate back on tax.
It's a rebate. So when, will more of our employees, instead of taking comp time, take overtime because they're not taxed on it, do you think? I'm just saying.
No, I'm not laughing at you.
Yeah.
I'm saying I
It's so-
personally
It's
would.
so minimal.
Yeah.
It's only on, so if you're paid time and a half, so let's say you're paid $10 an hour, and overtime you get paid 15,
Uh-huh.
you only get the taxes back on the $5.
Right, but you don't, yeah, you don't have to pay taxes on that $5, but I was just thinking from a comp time standpoint, we might incur more overtime in 26 and 27 because of that, less taxation.
know.
Or do you think that
They
people,
probably wouldn't have until you mentioned it.
oh,
Yeah.
Well, and it depends on the office, so
I'm
like,
kidding.
some offices allow for comp time if they can work it, but if they're gonna use it as overtime, it's not in the budget, so they don't, you know, they allow them to get more time off if they can work, but are not willing to pay out the overtime. Every office is run so differently. Again, that's why I think department heads should take a stab at the salary and let them do their,
Well, maybe
let the
that's just
department
a-
heads do their budget.
maybe that's just a
Understand that.
question to ask that department heads if they think that's gonna happen and if they built it into their budgets.
Yeah,
I
I can
think-
leave in my office, no.
I think 2%.
No, I'm not offering, again, it's not an employee's choice to take, like, oh, I wanna work 10 hours of overtime this week. It's if you need the overtime, or if you wanna offer comp time, because every office is completely different. Now, some departments might give them a choice between overtime and comp time.
I see.
But you prepare for it to be taken as, and in my case, I would think you would prepare it all as overtime, and if they take it as comp, they take it as comp.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's, so
Anyway,
we
that-
need to decide on the COLA.
And when I say decide on COLA, you guys don't have to stick to it, it's just what would you like people to build into their budgets for the COLA?
I'm having trouble making the COLA, the 2% COLA come out. If we figured $3 million for salaries and then the increase of 348, and I was trying to figure what 2.7 COLA, or 2.7% COLA would cost us, so the employees didn't necessarily lose ground for
But-
cost of living.
So 2.7, it'd be between that
99,
99
60,
and the
yeah.
149 number.
Yeah.
You'd have to, like 70% of it, so it'd be like 30 or something?
Would we take 3 million plus the 348,000 for
Can
the
I-
increase? 3,348,000 times 2.7%.
I'm sorry,
The salaries.
well,
and then the-
we have to pay the COLA on the benefits as well. You know, like FICA and
Okay,
papers and stuff like that. So you really have to look at the $4 million number.
okay, 4,840,084,000.
Yeah, so that'll be our total salaries, an estimate, I'm gonna keep saying estimate,
Yeah.
let's just say $4 million
Right,
at the end of year, 2026, including benefits.
yeah.
So what do we wanna do, just do the 2.7, let them shoot for that? Make sure that I'm right about that. I mean, is that,
I had 2.4 somewhere. I saw that the state in Elaine Bowers' newsletter, she said that the state was getting 2.5% increases. What did I do with that? Yeah, so, did you guys see this newsletter? Includes a 2.5% raise for qualifying state employees. That was done in the budget process by the Senate Ways and Means and House Appropriations Committee.
So that was their COLA?
Well, see, it didn't, it said 2.5% pay, it didn't say COLA, it just said 2.5% pay increase for qualifying state employees. I guess we could match that and do 2.5, right?
Yeah,
I guess that's a
I think so.
good number to look at.
2.5.
Yeah,
Since that's what the state's getting, we
okay.
match it.
All right. So we'll let them shoot for that.
And then, well, I guess since we're kind of on that subject, is there anything you guys want to discuss together as far as what direction you want to give department heads? It kind of sounds like you would like them to try to keep the budgets flat, build in a 2.5% COLA. Is there anything else
Well, I just
as
feel,
a commission you'd like to discuss
I
talking
mean, my opinion is I feel like we've come a long way with wages and everything. And so if they could keep, you know, just keep it as tight as they can. I mean, I don't want them to have to be, you know, run out of money or anything, but I want it fairly tight.
What
Yeah,
he said.
I
agree.
yeah, I just, and, you know, they can put notes in their financial statement, their budget saying, you
For
know.
this, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I really think this is essential rather than a need, a
Right.
desire, like. if
Right.
they- So that's how I would just make, the more notes, the better, but aim for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did change the notes section, just so you guys know, those individualized sheets. I did change the notes section to be a little more descriptive as to what you guys are looking for, so I hope that helps.
That will probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you guys had
Sheriff,
mentioned that.
Russ, he gave a lot of detail on his last year, I
Yeah.
remember.
Okay.
Only other thing with budget talks, appropriations, I just wanna point out that I am starting to schedule those in May. Sorry, I'm typing too. And so all I'm doing is calling these entities and asking them to present. The very least I think we need to at least make sure we're aware of is, it's been discussed in the past that they need to come and actually ask for the amount that they want. So a lot of times they're asking me, well, what does the commission want? And I don't know what you guys are looking for other than what the amount they're requesting.
Right.
Well, I think in the.
Go ahead.
I do I prefer to see financial statements, that's why I'm looking forward to getting with the, hospital, just so we have a ballpark of how it's being utilized.
well, I'd like to see the explanations in the note section of their budgets, you know, what their plans are for the departments, you know, what they foresee as expenses coming up, you know, that type of thing that we don't know about. Anything they can provide, any information they can provide for us would certainly help justify what they're doing.
But to be honest, appropriations is a place where we can scrutinize spending. And, I think that.
Sorry, I'll take what happened earlier when they said, well, I've already presented that stuff. I hope that was okay. To me, if you're gonna have an appropriation, you need to come request the amount that you're looking for.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. I hope I got that across.
I think so.
That, because he did present the entire financial statements for last year, which, and I said, if you want something more than that, you need to justify it, so hopefully. Do you want him to go ahead and bring his financial statements again?
That's really up to you guys. That's 100% to the commission.
I guess as long as I had them for 2025, I didn't think they had to re-present it.
No, I don't think so. So, I think it's fine.
And if there's any other appropriations you would like me to call, I know we've discussed golden meal, I know we've discussed, service corps. If you want other appropriations, we need to schedule them in May.
Okay.
Well, I know that other counties have scrutinized some of their appropriations, so I do plan to look at it a little bit harder this year.
I don't care how tight they are, they need to be tight.
I know some counties, they've set a set appropriation number, and then all the entities come, and then they decide how to divvy out that one set amount. There's lots of different ways to do appropriations.
Right.
I'm
Well-
my goal is to try to find money in appropriations, so I am gonna look at some of those. I don't know if I'll find anything, but
Right,
if we don't look, we don't know.
right. So what,
Everybody's now on, everybody's probably freaking out.
tough. What about all of April? So can you give me a rundown of everything we got going other than the department heads? You guys are meeting on the 3rd, right?
We're meeting on the 3rd with Scott Lloyd. We have a department head meeting on the 6th.
Okay, and that's with us.
Yes, that'll be during the meeting. Mhm. April 8th.
Wait,
is your-
on the sixth, what are, on April sixth, we're having a department head meeting?
Yes, that'll be during the commission meeting.
But that's just a normal, that's not budgets or anything, that's just a normal.
That's just normal, and that's when you guys can give them direction.
Okay.
April 8th is your regional commission meeting in Concordia,
Is that 6:30 or 6?
6, I think. Ask me right. And then April 20th, we do have the meeting with the hospital. That is where they will give their financials. When I contacted them, I forgot, they have a ballot initiative that says we give them 6 mills, but they will provide financials at that time, so they actually will not present in May.
What time?
I'm sorry, they have a ballot initiative for 6 mills, that's not change, is that without a sunset, is that forever?
As far as I'm aware.
Tell us changed.
But what'd you say
Right.
about May? I thought you said something about May. Maybe
Oh,
you
they
missed
won't present in May, cause it's, you guys.
Okay, so what time's that meeting? In
It's a ballot thing.
Oh.
11?
Which, the hospital one?
Mhm.
I believe it's 11.
I put down 11:30.
I've got 11:32
I'm sorry, 11:30.
or 11:30.
Sorry, I was thinking the meeting, our meeting should end at 11.
Okay,
But that meeting is
so
11:30.
that everything in April?
Let me check a few more things here real quick.
My calendar says Earth Day is April 22nd.
Yeah, that's as far as I know,
Okay.
in April.
Okay.
So that's appropriations for the budget. Yeah, I think that's basically everything at the moment to talk to you about budgets, unless you guys, everything else you want to say or discuss or ask.
There's that.
If not, we can move on.
Do you want me to, do I hit to this, or?
Yeah.
Do you have something you want?
I'm gonna have you re-sign this. I had the wrong date on it. I had April, not
April.
March.
I saw that and I wondered if we were gonna submit it April 1.
No, I was getting ready to send it, and I, oh shit, I put the wrong date.
That letter said we had 90 days from the date they gave it to us, so we're definitely within that 90 days.
April 20-something, yeah.
Yeah.
I was already in April. I was out in March already.
Thanks for catching that.
Thank you.
Do you want me to approve payables?
Yep.
I'll move to approve payables at $207,992.58.
I will second that.
It's moved and seconded to pay the bills at $207,992.58. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
And Dwayne, did you have changes for the minutes that?
Yeah, I did. I didn't see anything that reflected a complete action of what we did last week in open session.
Which part? I didn't get your changes, I'm sorry.
Oh, you didn't get my
No,
changes?
I didn't get an email from you.
Oh my, I sure hit send.
Do you wanna wait to approve these next week then, or?
Well,
We can if there's something missing, if I,
the action of our emergency management, department was missing out of there.
you guys had no action taken at the
Still
end.
have to take it.
Yeah, but in public meeting, there was.
Nope,
No,
there wasn't.
there wasn't.
That's it.
You guys did not take any action.
Oh, really?
Well, you guys said no action taken at the end of executive session.
Right. Agreed there, but then after that, we took action.
Not,
No, it wasn't.
no,
In the executive session.
No, after the executive session, we came out.
you guys never. Mm-mm.
Okay.
That's why, there's nothing in the minutes about it.
Okay.
Did you have anything else besides that?
I don't remember what there was. Let me see what I've got, if I've got it saved on my computer here.
Oh, but whatever you have wouldn't be in here,
Right.
Yeah, cause I didn't get that.
so it's
I
your,
thought it was weird, I didn't get any from you, I meant to reach out and forgot to, so.
so that's your call if you wanna wait.
I can double check. I don't think there was anything very important as far as that goes. Let's see. Okay. March 16th. Cause I can find them real quick here, I think. Is that one that we had 2026 on the project graduation? I don't think I'm in the right minutes.
We had, after prom, it's March 16th.
Okay, let me get back in the right file here. 16th. Okay.
I always said mine with Carla on it. Does he send hers with Dwayne on it?
I think so, or Morris, I think he's used.
It's just from Dwayne, so you know.
Yeah,
That's how I keep my changes, to try to put them in red.
Oh, maybe I ought to use a different color. I use red too.
no, that's perfect, they're two
Okay.
different, red
Yeah,
is
two
good for
different
both.
files.
It's an attention getter.
Mhm.
Well, I'm not seeing nothing of any, under sales tax discussion, about the fourth line down, Commissioner Morris asked, which entity with our county do we aim sales tax at? They were just kind of phrasing, I think. I don't remember what you had
What
there.
number are you looking at?
Number 13, sales tax discussion.
13.
Well, tell me, do you wanna send those changes and I'll look at them?
Let's just wait till next
I have
week.
13 as executive session. I have 13 as executive session.
Okay, I have 13 as sales tax discussion.
Are you
I
sure?
think you're on the wrong one.
I'm probably on the 9th. Yep.
Let's just go ahead and shoot for next week on these.
Yep.
Okay,
If you'll send those changes to me when you find them.
yeah. 9.
Okay, clerk's comments.
Yep, so I just have, a couple of things. Sorry. So the first thing is just to remind you there will be no meeting, next week, cause it's the 5th Monday. Sorry. Taking notes and talking is not always the easiest thing there. And then tell you about the department head meeting on April 6th. Of course, we kind of discussed about that. We did get an email from the North Central Regional Planning Commission I want to discuss with you. And Sheriff should be coming up here, but I'll go ahead and review what that is.
He's coming up here for that.
He just wanted to be a part of that discussion. So the
Well, that's
North,
perfect timing.
there he
Yeah.
is, sorry, great
Okay.
timing.
Wow.
So the North Central Regional Planning Commission sent out an email, talking about jails. They said basically, they would like our county to discuss internally and reply by April 3rd or before, if we're interested in participating in the discussion, regarding jails. So jails have been a topic of discussion through counties. Some counties think they need to build new, some have excessive capacity, some have staffing issue. No one seems to be in the same situation. The topic is universal. And they said some people may not think they have a problem in this area, but that we could be part of the solution. So they're just looking, I think, to have a discussion regarding jails in the county in general. So I wanted to bring that up. I wanted Sheriff to be here because obviously we're talking about jails. So that would be a large part of his.
And this goes in that folder.
Oh, thanks.
Oh,
I just thought we
wait a
should see
minute,
your face.
this needs to go in there too. Well, I mean, that's basically a no-brainer, isn't it? We need to talk,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever we can with whoever, so is this gonna be a joint meeting with,
It says the goal would simply be to make connections and determine if there was a way to collectively meet some of the needs in the region cost effectively. So I think they're just gonna put together a conversation.
It's a brainstorming session.
I just wanna say, I think that's what.
together, or just
Well, with the sheriffs and representatives from. North
all of us
Central-
together?
It didn't say. So I think we just need to reach out, if you guys are interested, reach
Yes.
out and say, yes, we'd love to be a part of the conversation.
Yeah.
And then, I would probably, recommend very strongly that at least the sheriff be there,
Well, yeah.
at the very least,
Well.
from there.
Yeah.
So are they trying to have a representative from each commission?
Again,
Are
it
you
does
gonna
not,
go since you're?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Since
So when do they want,
I just need to tell them by April
Yes.
30th we're interested.
we're
If that's
interested,
what we're interested in, and then I will find out who they want to come.
okay.
Okay.
So do you got a copy of that email as well?
I do, yeah. And I think there was some correspondence, throughout the weekend a little bit, between Deb and, Dwayne and me, and, I mean, it's real short, there's nothing other than
Yeah.
this pretty much
Yeah.
states here that they wanna try to form discussions with the surrounding areas for this purpose.
So those, that 18 counties, does it include Junction City, where we send our juveniles?
I think so.
I
You
don't
said
know how
no?
far
I
it
don't know
reaches
how
out
But
for
it does
sure.
include
I don't think
Mitchell
they do.
County, which
Yeah.
does
They're
our,
not, the
adult.
North Central Kansas Planning Commission doesn't include,
They don't.
Junction.
Well, and here's the thing,
but
and I
it does
can't,
include Mitchell, right?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you'll have to forgive me, but I can't remember the new, Senate bill that's going, or going to be going into effect, that they passed. It will be, basically, short and sweet, it states that any juvenile or any adult that has offended once, like say they stole something. The next time, and they get slapped on the wrist per se, or they get probation or whatever, the second time they do it, it's an automatic jail time, period.
Second
that
is jail
means-
time,
Second.
Yeah,
Whether it's-
jail time,
whether it's a juvenile or an adult.
juvenile or adult. That's
Oh.
what they put in.
Glad
So-
we got all the beds.
And the governor
Well-
signed this?
My understanding, yes.
It's law.
It is law.
Second
They don't know
offense.
how it's going to affect or what it, how it's gonna work out for sure.
Is that what started this conversation?
No, well, it could be, but I know that this is, like, Mitchell County had struggled, putting inmates in their bunk, or beds.
Cloud County,
Dickinson
everybody.
County, or, yeah, Cloud County.
Doesn't matter who it is,
it-
everybody-
I thought
struggling.
Mitchell had plenty because we were.
They do now, because they have Cloud and they have us.
Okay.
I mean, and not so much us, because ours ranges from 2 to 4,
How many?
2 to 4 inmates, roughly.
Okay. Permanent, you're saying?
In an estimate per month, that's 2 to 4.
I thought the list was a lot longer than that. but
That's the
anyway.
juvenile list, right? That's
No.
long?
That's just jail.
You're
That's a-
talking about Mitchell County, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So we average 2 to 4
Adults.
adults
Per day?
Yeah.
per day, roughly. Yeah. There's times when we send them up there, like, I don't know what list you got.
Well, we
But we
get
had
it,
a
how much
couple
it
of them
costs
we-
every month. I mean, and it's a lot longer than 2 to 4, but, I mean,
Well, we
Right.
have some long-term and then we just have a
Right.
short.
We do.
have the short term.
And the thing of it is, and I know that there's a way, and that's on Jeff's end.
or medical. It's not the housing that, I mean, that's expensive too, Scott, like you said, but the medical is ridiculous. When an inmate goes
No, I
to
know.
jail, everything, every ailment that they have then goes
Comes out.
into, yeah.
And they want it fixed now.
And they want it fixed now.
Is there a
and
chance
you-
to gouge us, or
Yes.
whoever?
So all of the bills that we've been getting, we've been forwarding on to the county attorney, Jeff, in hopes that he will add that on to their fees and
Right.
fines and whatnot. And we got a couple that want dental work, couple that have been getting medication for different things, and
Just too bad that old Doc Yow's not still going.
he was running your neighborhood.
Yeah, I know that, but it's too bad he's still not pulling teeth,
Well, and that's what we do.
'cause it was cheap. and-
We pull, we don't doctor, we don't
Right.
do root canals, we don't do cavity fills, we pull.
Yeah, I know.
We can't do
No.
all that, it's just not right. And there's been a couple of them that then decided that they don't
Really want
to
that.
messed with.
Why
We
don't
don't
we
get
get
pulled.
dental students recruited to come here and work under supervision?
Yeah. Well, we don't need that. Let's keep going here.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
But,
so
so,
the fines, you say added to the fines, so we pay it outright, the medical costs?
yeah, it's at a, lower, it's
discount
like
rate.
your,
Medicaid.
Medicaid, there we go. It's a Medicaid rate that they pay, that we pay.
And
So-
then when you send it back to Jeff to have it add to their fines, does that money come back to the county?
Sometimes, but
Yep, but
Depending.
it's like pulling blood out of a turnip. I mean,
depends on if they've got the money or ever,
might not ever get it.
depending on a lot of
In
things.
hopes that there's a couple of them that become fine, outstanding citizens and go to work, and then they can collect from them at that point in time.
Right.
But
Hmm.
that's on his end to assess that.
Okay, so, well, let's just say, yes, we wanna be
I think it's a good idea.
involved in this and move on. Let us know when the meeting is and
I know
where.
that juvenile, the, Junction City facility is scared that they're gonna be overcrowded here
Oh,
pretty quick
true.
too, because of all this going into effect.
Well, you had talked to them briefly
And-
about
and-
Well,
it.
they're
I
always
did.
they're over full always anyway, aren't they?
They're what?
Over full.
Yes, but so in order to lower our rates through Junction City, they take two different types of juveniles. They take the actual juvenile offenders, and then they take the offenders that they're not offenders, the juveniles who don't have placement. And they make a killing off that because it's DCF funded. So they've got more beds for the.
You mean
out-
like foster kids? I can't,
It's,
when you
yeah.
say that?
Yeah, through DCF. And that's what reduces our cost. Our cost, according to, Sean, would be close to over $1 million more. Not our cost, but I mean for the
them.
surrounding communities and counties. So I don't think it's a bad thing they have, but then that shorts us at times, and we have to house them at different locations, and they have to pay, but
Right.
our numbers right now are at 0 for the year.
Yeah, well,
Zero.
Yeah, it's a gamble. I mean, you might not have juveniles go in there, but you gotta pay for it because you gotta have services
That's
for
not
them.
the rolling average number that we have, the 184, right? That's the 184 beds.
Yeah, that's what
rolling-
we have that we can use for the
Right.
year
That's at Junction City.
at Junction City. But right now, we're at 0. We haven't sent any juveniles to them.
Really?
But we're not the only county that's in that situation, so.
Well, so can you project based on recidivism rates? How about that? That big word. On what that would, I mean, you know everybody that you arrest.
Well, the way it looks right now, we'll probably, won't be anywhere close to that 184, but
Don't
I
say
can't,
it.
I can't say
Bad
that
luck.
because,
This
I-
bill, when does it take effect?
July, I believe,
July 1?
and I can get you that, I can email you the.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out.
But
Yeah.
going back, so just for you personally, can you anticipate that based on your arrest records? I'm just trying to say, you
No.
have
No.
everybody.
That all depends on how stupid the kids are gonna be.
Yeah.
It doesn't
And,
matter about
and does
it.
it matter the time frame of first arrest and second arrest? Does it have to be in the same calendar year
I
or?
don't think
I
so.
don't
12
think it
months?
matters, I don't think it
Ever?
matters.
So if a
As long as
kid
it's a
gets-
juvenile record,
If a kid steals something 1 month, 1 year, and then 3 years later has,
I would assume, and it is my assumption
You
that.
better just
it's-
wait
it's-
before you answer
it's-
that.
It's,
Yeah.
Till
it's
you-
similar to any kind of criminal law that after a while it
Till
does
you
go
get
off
the
your
facts.
record,
I mean,
but,
yeah, it seems like it would roll off. So maybe that bill, you didn't notice that on that bill?
I haven't read completely the whole bill
Right.
on it. I know that there's been discussion about it and there's people that are scared of it. Because
All right.
From a
KDOC,
funding-
that KDOC, that's local jails and juveniles that are gonna, their population's gonna go up.
So this applies to juveniles and adults?
Yes. Yes. And I can send that to you on email. But I agree. I think we need to continue to discuss it, not knowing what is gonna happen in the future. And there's others besides us that are struggling with filling their jails.
Mhm.
So,
Well, then we probably struggle with staffing it as well, though.
well, and that is the other
That's
thing
the
that
the
you gotta
next
take
step.
into consideration, because clientele ain't what they used to be, for sure. I can tell you that the ones that we had, I mean,
You mean
there's some that
work-
are made
you
for the
mean
job.
working for the jail?
yeah, there's some that are made for the job and can do it efficiently and we need them to do it, but then there's some that just come in for a job and get.
Good. All right.
I'm sure she'll keep me in the loop now that
Mhm.
I've
Yeah.
touched base with her.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter how many commissioners wanna go along and express our concern of what we got going on, and listen to what others have to say. I think that's the important link,
Yeah.
you know, to see if,
Well, this could impact our 2027 budget if we have to open up the jail, so,
Absolutely. If
or
we
if
have to
it
open
create
up the jail
revenue,
period, it
it'll
will.
impact it that way too.
well, it could be either way.
Yeah.
'Cause
Either
to
way.
try to figure out if it's gonna be cost effective, and it doesn't matter if we're forced to do
Well,
it.
and I discussed
Well, we're
with,
not forced. We
Well,
won't be forced.
if we don't have, if Mitchell fills up,
I mean, if we start,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, we'll have to do something for sure there.
or Junction
Yeah.
City fills
Yeah.
up, who's that, I'm sorry, I'm going to the wrong,
Yeah.
either one
Well,
fills up.
We've got right now, we've got 184 beds reserved in Junction City, but what if we have 3 offenders?
Well, that's days, that's not beds, that's days
Okay,
that we have
days.
allotted
Okay.
for us. Yeah.
But if they're full, they've got to.
They got houses like in Reno, or there's a place in southwest Kansas that they go to.
So it probably won't
Yeah.
affect us in 26, but we need to look at it in 27.
Well, if they're full, then we gotta transport to southwest Kansas. That's inconvenience and expense.
Yep.
Instead of Junction.
Well,
Bottom line is
as
we
long
need
as
to
we
fill
have,
the jail with prisoners.
as long as we have a contract with Junction City, they have to find the housing,
I
not
was-
us.
But
But
then
do-
we transport.
Do we do the transport?
We would transport, yes, we
Yeah.
would have to transport
To
to
the-
whatever
to wherever the
facility
jail
that they
is?
need to, so.
All right.
All right, thank you, sir.
You bet.
Thanks.
Carla,
That's all I had.
you have any commissioner comments?
I just had two. One was, that, Ottawa County Conservation District Workday is next week. Although I think you should go, Scott, but if you don't go, I'll go. Would you like to go,
I
Scott?
don't know what day is it.
It's next Monday on the 30th.
No, I cannot.
Okay, well then I'll go and see, I'll take notes again, that's what I did
Okay.
last year. To help, to, teach, to share with you what they learned. The only other thing I had, I do wanna reiterate how helpful the city was and Bennington EMS to help us get this information as a starting point. The only other thing I have is, there was that email that came out about shirts, ordering the shirts for Ottawa County.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm sitting there saying I want to control the budget, But I was thinking it'd be nice if we bought each employee one Ottawa County shirt. So when they go and represent us in a meeting or a training or even just around the city, that they have something that says they're an Ottawa County employee. So I did pull up I pulled up the t-shirts. So the t-shirts start at like 15 and a Carhartt t-shirts is at 30. The hoodies were 28 and the long sleeves ranged from 17 to 36. And the polos started about 26. Did you guys look at that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess, how do you guys feel about that? My personal thing would be to give them something like, give each employee $30 to go buy a shirt. They could select if they want a long sleeve, short sleeve, hoodie, polo, whatever, and give every employee the same amount. That would be about, I think we have 70 employees.
About average.
Yeah, so so that would be about $2,100. And I thought we could fund it out of the employee benefits miscellaneous fund account. There's
So
about,
is this gonna be required for them to wear it?
no, this is just,
Well, that's the only reason I'm asking that, is I don't know what some women, no offense to women, might wanna wait to a meeting. I mean, I don't know if they'd wanna wear a t-shirt or whatever we're doing to, I mean.
Well, if we give them $30, they could buy a polo or maybe 2 t-shirts.
Yeah.
I personally think it's a great idea. $30 is a great idea because I think you'll spend less than that 2,100 if people get t-shirts or polos or.
Yeah, it probably needs to be 30.
But
Which money, where are you gonna get this money?
Great idea.
so the employee benefits fund has a miscellaneous account that has $40,000 in it. I have not looked to see what has been spent. Here, you want me to look real quick?
Yeah.
What's been spent year to date? Last year, we had budgeted, or I should say 24, they only spent $948 out of it.
Okay.
And then in 2025, it was only estimated at 5,000.
Is that where money comes from for the birthday parties and the cards
Yeah.
and so forth?
Well, no, that's employee.
That's a separate.
Yeah, that's a separate fund in there. There's employee appreciation.
Yeah.
So it would not be in that, because I didn't wanna mess with that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Are you trying to find it?
I'm trying to find it too, trying to be
Okay. And you might
said-
find it faster than
You
me.
said employee benefits, right?
Yeah, employee benefits,
And
and
we have
it's,
not spent anything under the 40,000 as of right now.
Okay.
and last year, did we spend, can you look at
I can look
25
at,
then?
yep, I can look that real fast here.
Well, let's just,
Yours must work faster than mine.
I don't know.
Maybe it's is yours considered a desktop where mine's a laptop, so yours is fast?
Possibly. 2025, looks like we didn't spend any of the 40,000 in 2025 at all.
Oh, well then, I would.
we'll make a motion.
I would move that we give each employee a $30 credit from the messenger,
Stipend or
and
whatever, yeah.
clothing company to purchase something with an Ottawa County insignia on it, at their choice for $30.
Are we excluding the commissioners or are we including the commissioners?
I think yours could be.
I think we should have a shirt. Yeah.
I've
A
already
polo?
placed my order, so I've got 3 coming.
Oh, so you're trying to get
Colors.
it paid for on that?
Well, you can only get a $30
I'm not gonna
credit.
second this one.
Dwayne, you can only get a $30 credit. But,
All right, let's include the commissioners.
Okay. It's up to you.
I second. Moved and seconded to, apply, or not apply, so how are we gonna do this? Are we gonna pay for it, or are they gonna, we're gonna give them the 30, or?
I was just gonna tell them to credit their account at Messenger, say, can you credit and bill us for the $30 per person that utilizes it? I mean, somebody might choose not to use it, somebody might not.
But
want
we're
it.
not gonna give them $30 cash if they
No,
choose not to use
that's
it.
why,
I would say, I'll have to find out.
At Messenger,
But if
okay.
someone like Commissioner Morris, who's already bought one, maybe he'll.
have you already paid for yours?
Oh, yeah. I'll buy another, whatever.
Oh, you'll buy another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if not, maybe we can then show proof of purchase, and then we can maybe.
I didn't
I'll
ask
have
to
to look into it, but
see if a
we'll
lot of
figure it
people
out.
have already bought them.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
I don't know that a lot of people have.
Okay, $30, to be credited, $30 credit at the Messenger clothing for all employees and the commissioners for purchase of a polo with Ottawa County,
Or any
Any
shirt.
any clothing
If
with
they
Ottawa
want
County
any-
signia on
yeah,
it.
anything, yeah.
Is there any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
That's all I got.
Okay.
I have nothing. You're
I
up,
surely
Scott.
got something, but I can't remember what it
Oh,
was.
that's me.
No. Well, that probably didn't need to be brought up. No. I don't have anything either.
Okay. Oh, did you happen to get the video up and running or not yet? From
Not yet.
last week?
Not yet, I've not gotten, last week's video up yet. We
Do you
had-
want me to help you with that?
Joe's back, isn't he?
No, I think I'm fully staffed this week, I think
Okay.
it'll be okay. If
I
I
was
run into
gonna
a
say-
problem, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I was
Thank
gonna
you.
say, I can have it run while I'm working on something else if you ever want me to do that for executive sessions, you know,
Okay,
so.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Okay, that was, I was just trying to offer.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, thank you very much.
So you don't have anything, Scott?
No.
So you wanna move to adjourn?
I would make that motion that we adjourn at 10:13.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn at 10:13. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
Aye. All right.
We got through a lot
Yeah, we did.
in a
We're
short,
early.
in a short period of time.
Well, we skipped over.